There's one big common mistake that people make on the pitch arc that pulls tension away from both their quads and their glutes. Here's what it is and how to fix it. Most people grab the handles, lean back, and let their center of mass shift behind them as they squat down. And I get why. It feels easier, it feels more stable, and it feels like you're getting more depth. But here's the problem. The moment you lean back and your weight shifts behind you, you completely change what the exercise is doing. See, when you lean back during a pitch arc squat, the load from the belt is no longer traveling straight down to your hips. Your hips and torso fall backwards, and now your spine becomes the lever arm holding you up. That means your spinal erectors end up doing most of the work just to keep you balanced, not your legs. So you're basically turning the exercise into a belt-loaded good morning. And another thing that most people don't realize is that when they lean back and grab onto the handles for your dear life just to keep them from falling, they end up pulling themselves up with their entire upper body. So their lats, biceps, and upper back begin rowing themselves out of the bottom instead of using their legs to drive the movement. So you're no longer using the handles for stabilization, you're anchoring and pulling. And here's another thing that people misunderstand when using the pitch arc. Even though you're holding on and trying to lean back to bias the glutes, leaning back does not give you more glutes. If your torso drifts behind you, you are not getting deeper into your hips. You're just using more weight and shifting the tension away from the hips and straight into the lower back. So if your goal is more glutes on the pitch arc, the goal is not leaning back, it's staying stacked and adjusting your stance. That means keeping your trunk stacked directly over your hips, so your ribs over your pelvis, a slightly wider stance, toes slightly turned out, obviously controlling your eccentric and using full range of motion, and then making sure you're driving through the hips, squeezing the glutes to the top, and then immediate releasing, not holding at the top. And that's how you would bias your glutes. If you want to bias your quads, you'd keep your stance more at hip width while keeping your trunk stacked over your hips. And as you come down, you're going to focus on driving the knee over the toe while still keeping your heel planted. If the heel comes up, that means you're now driving forward to the balls of the feet, which give you knee pressure. Also, same as the glutes, not stopping at the top, giving yourself that rest, but making sure you're doing pull reps to consistently keep the tension where you want it. So remember, regardless if you're trying to train quads or glutes, stack your trunk directly over your hips. Keep your ribs over your pelvis. Let the trajectory of the belt pull you straight down, keeping your center of mass centered. And if you need to use the handles, use them for balance, not leverage. Because once you keep your hips stacked over your pelvis, you take the spine out of the movement and the tension stays exactly where it's supposed to be, whether you're training your quads or your glutes. So if you're using the pitch arc to grow your legs, stop leaning back and dragging your spine and upper body into the movement, and stop using the handles as leverage and just use them for balance. I promise you, you'll get far more growth, even though it's going to be way more difficult.